just realized that I don't have any of my I don't think I have my free resources up. So I'm just checking to make sure. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Hello, hello. How is everybody doing? There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Hang on. Let me just pin. I unpinned the item. And welcome in, everybody. Sorry, Loki's giving me another ball. Give that to Daddy. Go outside with Daddy. Go outside with Daddy. Yeah, I know you want to say hi to everybody, but you need to go outside and play with Daddy. There's a squirrel. Okay. All right. Go outside with Daddy. Good morning, everybody. Sorry. Hang on. Let me just, I don't know why I'm trying to pin it on there. I should be pinning it on here. Good morning, everybody. Feel free to share your shows and ask your questions. I have only 2 topics today, which sounds like a lot. But the first one is just, I'm going to do a quick overview of Rewards Club. Loki, stop barking at things. Good morning. Okay, let's say hi to everybody who's in here. Yeah, saying there was a squirrel didn't work, unfortunately. Good morning, Nietzsche, Dali, Kita, Riley, Peacock, Solus. Go outside. Loki, go see Daddy. Go see Daddy. Yeah, Daddy's going to take you outside and not let you back in again every 5 seconds. Now you're going to have to find another one then. I love my dogs, except in these mornings. Canadian Witch, Shop with Danny, Souls Creations, Elvery Vintage, Little Big Town, Mamarazzi Finds, Lisa Yu, Champagne and Lollipops, Dennis, Leanne, Silex, BMX, Mama 3, AZ, Sales Canada. Good morning, East Coast Vintage Treasures as well. Welcome in, everybody. Okay, let me just go here. Oh. Sorry. Okay. Good morning, Vanessa. Good morning, David. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome to the fun. If you have questions, feel free to ask your questions. I'm going to be doing just 2 quick topics. So I'm going to be talking about the Rewards Club, and then I'm going to be talking about a challenge that I'm going to be giving to all of my Canadian friends to branch out internationally, how to start reaching out. I'm hoping that we can all work together to start branching and reaching out to more international folks. And I'm gonna teach you how to do that. HJC, good morning. MJD, good morning. How are you? Okay, so let's start off with talking about Rewards Club. So Rewards Club, see Style with Charlie. Holy cow. Good morning, Charlie. I mean, good afternoon, Charlie. How are you? Do you know what I'm talking about today? Everyone follow Style with Charlie right now, especially if you love fashion, you need to follow Style with Charlie. Merci pour le partager ce livre. I don't know if I said that right, but merci beaucoup. I'm good. So Style with Charlie is a UK seller who's absolutely amazing, has amazing taste. And this is what we're talking about today, is branching out into international markets. Let's stop whining and complaining that we're not having any US buyers. It's time for us to think outside of the North American box. There's a whole wide world, whole new world. So let's actually, thanks for sharing, girl. Let's go thrifting. Yes, so everyone follow Style with Charlie. She's a UK seller. She is amazing stuff. If we all start following each other, if we all start going into each other's shows to support, that doesn't mean you have to buy. Yes, if you're tempted, definitely buy. But start like I found a bakery in the UK that's that I'm gonna, the next time I have to send gifts to my in-laws, I'm gonna get it shipped from this UK seller to my in-laws who live in Bristol. I'm very excited by that. Good morning, this sassy vintage chick. How are you? Living the dream. Hello, Black Sands. Good morning. Welcome in, everybody. Okay. And Peacock says I've sold to UK, Australia, and Malaysia. Yeah, there's Whatnot doesn't have very many limits on who can buy on Whatnot. It used to be there was only certain countries, but if Chit Chats or Canada Post will ship to that country and there's no restrictions, then a person can buy and have that stuff shipped as long as they're willing to pay for the cost. That's the way it goes. All right, so I'm going to start off by talking very quickly about Rewards Club. This season ends on March 1st. I thought it was 3 days, but it's actually 5 days. So 5 days after March 1st, the coupons that your Rewards Club members received. Good morning, Dave. The coupons that Rewards Club members earned during this season are still valid for 5 days afterwards. So next week, you can still encourage your Rewards Club members to use up their coupons from the previous season as they earn rewards for the next season. So this today or tomorrow would be the time for you to go into your seller hub, go up to the menu, click on Rewards Club, and update your Rewards Club. If you like the Rewards Club you already have, if you think it's working great, then you can just hit copy. There's a little button and you can copy everything from this season into next season, and then you just hit publish. It's that simple. Or you can save draft and think about it and then publish it. But it ends on March 1st. So you need to have your new Rewards Club set up. Otherwise, people aren't going to be earning points towards your new Rewards Club if it's not set up at the end of day, March 1st. How is everybody doing? Okay, so that's all I'm going to say, because there's lots of information that you can get at help.whatnot.com on Rewards Club. They're basically like a whole bunch of coupons that reward your customers, and there's different levels. And you can also, as you can see, if you go up to the top here, I have a little crown, or if you've already earned something like egg, then it'll show up as an egg. If you go up to that, it will actually show you all of my different levels, and I've got clever little names for them, so you can even make it whatever you want to. With Charlie says, I find it super confusing. So you can really simplify it by it's basically offering coupons automatically to help encourage your customers to buy from you again. So for example, I have it that Rewards Club is fairly easy for you to get. I put the minimum amount for getting to the first level, and then that gives you a few coupons to use. Using up those coupons will then elevate you to the next level, and then I make it just a little bit harder for each level after that. So I'm going to be making some adjustments, because I discovered that my level 2 is where most of my buyers end up, and I'm finding that level 2 was actually costing me a lot more. So there's something in there that is costing me more than I want to. So I will be making adjustments and then pushing maybe some of those higher value coupons away to the higher levels, the higher tiers. They're called tiers. So if I can simplify it as much as possible, Rewards Club is a great way to kind of create a following. You don't need to create your own little, like, fun little, like egg, and like I have Clucker, Ultimate Clucker, that sort of thing. You don't have to do that. You can just use bronze to diamond. And then you just use Whatnot's imagery, and that's it. It's pretty simple. Set it up. I would set it up with don't give too many huge coupons unless you can afford to. And just like if you offer a coupon on Whatnot, you just have to think about what are your costs, and is that going to break the bank? I have one coupon that's available that basically somebody could buy something for free if it's under $5. Your buyer only got 10p off of 50 pounds. Oh yeah. Okay. So that sounds like a really, I wonder if there was like a mint, so it was probably just very low. Yeah. So, that is really weird, Charlie. You messed up the percentage. Yeah. So your percentage must have been really low, but that's like, maybe it was 2%. That sounds like 2%. So you probably meant 20. But that's okay. I mean, 2% is still better than nothing. It's still a coupon, right? It's still a coupon. Kind of like you see those 25-cent off coupons. There's a reason why companies still use coupons and why there's like different rewards. So definitely Peacock says I had a weekend show where people used $350 in coupons. I have to make changes next season. Yeah, so look at if you already have Rewards Club. I'm glad you thought it was funny. If you already have Rewards Club and you've been using it this season, look at your statistics, look at your different levels, see if there's spots where you are being overly generous and make those adjustments. And I would recommend that if you want ideas on different rewards clubs, go into people's shows, go into shows all around the world and look at their rewards club, because it will at least show you the first tier and what you get. It's not going to show you everything. I don't think it doesn't show you everything, but at least show you the first tier. And that gives you an idea of some of the things that people are offering. A lot of big sellers are only offering 10% or 5% off. They're not offering like huge deals. Stamp Picker says, just getting ready for my Postmasters Vault Blind Box Series 2 show. Awesome. And he has a free giveaway show for everyone who hits a certain tier. It's awesome. And give thousands in coupons. Yeah, I give a lot in coupons. And I think coupons work. Rewards Club is basically automated coupons. I don't need to worry about coupons anymore. It's automated, and I love that part. Okay, so that's Rewards Club. And if you have any more questions about Rewards Club, we can go into it. I wanted to just pivot to talk for a little bit about a challenge that I'm going to be giving to everybody. Let me just pin that. Hang on. Pin. Da, 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 the Canadian International Trade Challenge for Whatnot Sellers. Insert epic music, etc. Blah, blah, blah. And if anyone asks, 1867, the year of Confederation. That's why it's $1,867. Year of Confederation. Okay, it's not actually for sale. So today we're talking about something that's bigger than inventory or thumbnails. We're going to talk about important geography. Good old geography. Let's remember about geography. So before anyone jumps to any conclusions about what I'm saying here, I am not saying to avoid the US market at all. The United States is the largest market on Whatnot, period. It is like it is like 80% or something crazy of Whatnot sales are in the United States still. That is the biggest market. So it's not in a market to avoid. But because Canadian sellers have a harder time selling into the United States because of the removal of the de minimis exemption on August 29th and us needing to use UPS to deliver, then sorry, I got distracted. Because we have to use UPS to go into the States, that has eliminated a lot of US buyers. It hasn't eliminated US buyers for everybody. A lot of sellers who have high quality stuff that's hard to get at decent prices, not rock bottom prices, are still selling into the US. So it's not like the US is gone. So now it says showing your region. I don't recall that a few weeks ago. It didn't show up in the stamp category in the US last night. You were probably pushed down past any other US folks. That is interesting. Leanne Reynolds, we can't use Canada Post because the current president of the United States eliminated the de minimis exemption, which allowed for goods to come into the United States, shipments to come into the United States under $800 without any taxes, duties, or tariffs being owed. So this is not about tariffs. This is about the de minimis exemption. So because of that, and also because of change in policy, the United States government forced international postal services to start collecting duties, taxes, and tariffs on their behalf. So Canada Post forces you to first go and download an app and pay for the taxes, duties, and tariffs on the app. You, the seller, you pay for it, and then you have to then buy a label from Canada Post. You can't get a label from Canada Post until you've already paid it, the taxes, duties, and tariffs. Chit Chats is also in the same boat. They've lost a ton of business because of this. So Whatnot does not have a system in place to prepay the duties, to figure out the duties, because each item is so different and unique. So it's all goes through UPS. UPS does the customs clearance, and that's the easiest thing. Canadian Witch asks, if you buy from the UK, is it just taxes we pay extra? Are there extra costs and duties? And same with US, is there tariffs for us too? Yeah, Leanne, you can use it on Etsy and all that, but for shipping to the United States from Whatnot, we don't prepay the duties. The buyer pays the duties to UPS, who pays it to the government. So are there extra costs? It's okay, Liz. It's not your fault. You didn't ask for this. And I don't think most people in the United States asked for what they're getting now. Congratulations on your latest war, by the way. I'm sure it'll be a great honorable thing. I hope no, well, not no one's, so people are going to die, but I just hope less people die, the least amount of people die. So if you buy from the UK, is it taxes we pay extra? So if you import anything from another country into Canada, you are going to have to pay some duties and taxes. For the most part, when you bring things in from the UK and the US, there's we don't have many tariffs left, reciprocal tariffs left on the United States. We backtracked on almost all of it. So it's just your regular duties that you have to pay when you import something from outside of the country. If it's under Canada's de minimis exemption, so small, lightweight packages of low value, it's around $20. But I found that it used to be if I bought something for $70 US, that's when I kind of triggered a bill. But it can be at anything $20 or more. Yeah, they bombed Iran. They're bombing Iran right now. That's the news. Okay, so anyways, back to this. So this, what we're trying to do is diversify the and this is totally up to you. This challenge is totally up to you. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But this is about diversification outside of North America and opening up new markets and new opportunities for you. It's about building additional streams of buyers so that your business is not dependent on just Canada or the United States. If competition starts increasing in your category, if your time slot gets crowded, if your buyer behavior shifts, or just in general, you want to increase your buyers. Style with Charlie says, as I'm in the UK in a business, do I need to register to export to Canada or US? I want to do this, but UK is confusing. As far as I know, no, because I've never seen anyone have any sort of, they just ship it. I've always just had people just shipped it, because I bought from a few UK sellers. So I mean, Whatnot support would be able to give you more information, but I'm assuming there's no issue. That it's just ship it, because in a way it's coming from Whatnot, right? Because Whatnot's paying any taxes on your behalf, as far as I know. At least they are here in Canada. Okay. So strong businesses diversify, and if we follow the lead of our Prime Minister, international trade is a strong business model for all of us to be following. So I'm going to be talking about the UK, Western Europe, and Australia as the strategic, intentional, not random. This is what we're aiming for. So here's the big idea. There's a concept in business, and it's called embeddedness. It was popularized by sociologist Mark Granovetter. The idea is very simple, okay? Economic activity doesn't happen in isolation. It happens inside networks, inside relationships, inside communities. Whatnot is all about community and relationships and networks. So what you're doing is using embeddedness to in international business. So we're going to be talking about how to get embedded into another market, how you can do that very simply. And Peacock says UK customers love to buy from us because their dollar is worth so much more. We are a bargain. Yeah, absolutely. So In international business, there's something called Loki. For the love of all things holy. No, stop. In international business, there is something called the liability of outsidership. So that means if you're not part of the local network, you're at a disadvantage. Come here. Come here. That's it. Not because your product is bad, not because your pricing is wrong, but because you're an outsider and they don't know you. So here's a shift I want you to think about. I don't want you to try and sell into you. So pick a country. So say we're talking about the UK since Charlie's here. Loki. 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 Nick, I need you. I need your help. I can't do this show. Like, so we're going to pick the UK. Okay. So we're going to pick the UK for this discussion. So you don't want to try and sell into the country. You're trying to embed yourself. Go see daddy. Go see daddy. Come on. This is ridiculous. Go see daddy. No. Go see daddy. Stop. Go see daddy. Come on. Go see daddy. Yeah, carry on. Select. Sorry, everybody. So what we're going to do is because, so let's talk about it. You're not trying to sell into a country, you're embedding. So what does that mean on whatnot? Oh, and Vintage is here. Good, because I want to talk about something. Okay, so if if you want UK buyers, you just don't go live and say, "Hey, UK, come here," because that doesn't work, right? Not on whatnot. You want to show up. This is what you're going to do. You're going to show up in UK rooms. You're going to go to UK seller shows. You're going to show up. You're going to comment thoughtfully. You're going to support that seller. You are going to become familiar to their folks. You're going to find a vibe that matches yours. You're going to be seen consistently, and you're going to move from being, who's this person, to, oh, that's that Canadian I see all the time. Familiarity reduces friction. Friction is what stops buyers, especially international buyers. So I'm going to just talk quickly about numbers and you decide which country you want to embed in. Good morning, Donna. So let's talk about the numbers. The UK is one of the most digitally mature e-commerce markets in Europe. Roughly 27 to 28% of retail spending in the UK happens online. That's huge. They are super comfortable buying online. This is low-hanging fruit, folks. Hey, Thriftworks, I'm going to be talking about you too. They are comfortable buying cross-border, and they are strong mobile. They use their phone. Most of their online shopping happens on their phone, which is perfect for whatnot. If you're good on camera and you're community driven, the UK culture aligns really well with live stream commerce. This is not a stretch for us to be embedding ourselves into the UK market because, first of all, our cultures are fairly aligned. There's some difference. There's a lot of differences, but our cultures are fairly aligned. Now let's talk about Western Europe. So Germany, France, Netherlands, Belgium, Austria. Collectively, huge, massive amount of potential buyers. Western Europe has a strong e-commerce adoption as well. And Whatnot has publicly discussed major growth in European seller activity. This is important. The ecosystem in the Western Europe is forming. Early embedding creates long-term loyalty. And I recommend some style. Charlie is right here. Where's Charlie? There's where's she go? I'm gonna tag her. Style with Charlie. Mention in chat. There you go. This is your first person to follow in the UK, and she's in fashion. You would love her. You would love her, Melody. So Australia is smaller in population than like Western Europe, but very online forward. They have strong mobile shopping. They're comfortable ordering from overseas, and cross-border e-commerce is very normal in their culture. Sometimes smaller markets are easier to embed into because there's less noise. And we've had in this in my chat shows, we've had a lot of Australian sellers come in, especially when we started weekly bundling. They came in to support and answer questions and help out. The Australian market is another strong potential market for us. And you'd be surprised, first of all, because Australians are used to buying internationally, they're used to expensive shipping costs. They don't like them. Who does like expensive shipping costs? But they're used to it. So if you're providing value for money, um, there are there is expensive shipping costs. And Australians are awesome, as Peacock says. Yes. So if a company already shops online heavily, the barrier isn't will they buy online, it's are they going to buy from you. So I also want to talk about logistics here because this is really important. um if it's so it's almost 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Toronto time, um here. So you have to add 5 hours on for the UK. So that means it's 4 p.m. in the UK. So if it's 3 p.m. in Toronto, it's about 8 p.m. in UK. Germany and France are about 9 p.m. Australia is in the next morning. So right now it's in the next morning. Australians do have Trumbelina. Yes, they have bundled shipping with us. Anybody who's in Australia, Germany, Austria, UK, not UK yet, um, and New Zealand, as well as Canada, is part of it. Hi, Ina. Yes, I heard that you changed your name. And it's already gone through the the grapevine. So Australia right now it's early morning. So timing when you go into shows, thinking about your shows, what time do you do your shows, and figuring out if you do your shows at a time where it's in the middle of the night in the UK, maybe the UK isn't your target spot. PB&J, thank you for the tip. That is so sweet of you. Um, if the weight of the package is really big, don't worry, Ina. It's just keep selling. It's gonna ship. It's gonna ship. Whatnot has a max, and trust me, some of my buyers have hit the max for weekly shipping, even with international. Yes, you can send big heavy packages internationally. Um, I'm still not sure of all the international countries involved with Whatnot. So almost every country in the world can buy from Whatnot as long as your international postal service will deliver to them. So if Canada Post delivers to that country, then they can buy from a Canadian seller. Sellers are UK, Netherlands, Germany, Austria, France. I thought Spain, but I don't see Spain on the list anymore. So maybe there was an issue there. There's like a ton. And then there's not New Zealand, but Australia. Um, and they're going to be expanding farther. So I'm hoping Vintage that one day they're going to be in Italy. And here's something that I'm going to suggest in a second. So Toronto afternoons are prime UK time. So if you normally go live around Austria, thank you. Germany, Austria, Netherlands, Belgium. Belgium. I think they're in Belgium now. Yes, when you move there, you want to sell there. That would be so much fun in your villa. Um, so if you already go live at a regular time, then you don't need to make any adjustments here in order to be able to pick the UK, for example. If you go live in the afternoon, then that's prime time, early afternoon. That's prime time for UK sellers. Chit Chats doesn't ship to all locations, but does ship to many locations. And if you use Chit Chats, if you selected Chit Chats as your provider, and Chit Chats doesn't deliver to that country, but Canada Post will, then your shipment will go out by Canada Post. Um, uh, so you don't need to schedule with intention. Okay, so buyer psychology. The more someone sees you, the safer you will feel. Repeated exposure builds from familiarity. Familiarity builds trust. So, let me just skip this part. Okay, so I have a real life example. Thriftworks USA is in the house right now. Thriftworks USA. I've bought from Thriftworks. Mention in chat. Thriftworks USA is in the house. Now, because of the changes to de minimis exemption, Thriftworks had to create a second company that is Thriftworks USA so that he could sell into the US market. And he has a whole system that he's set up for that. totally legal and totally okay with Whatnot. He also has Thrift Works, which is his selling platform in France. So I'm going to be talking about pre-de minimis Darren Thriftworks, who embedded himself in the United States market and got himself known that way and ended up with a huge US following that Donald Trump screwed. But anyways, um, you, Thriftworks, if you don't know, is Darren. You need to follow him. Follow Thriftworks USA and Thriftworks. Thriftworks, Darren, can you tag your Thriftworks account too for me? Um, he he's based in France. He's a Scotsman based in France, and he wanted to build a US following. He didn't just go live and hope people were going to discover him. What he did was he entered American shows in the categories that he sold in, and he engaged in the chat. He became known. Thank you, Thriftworks. I'm going to mod you so you can announce if you want to. He supported consistently. He's still known as the Hodgepodge Place's husband. His, that's her Whatnot husband is Thriftworks. Over time, he wasn't the French seller. He was part of the network. That's embedded entry. He did the right thing. He engaged in the chat. He joked. He had fun. He spent time in different, thank you, Thriftworks. He spent time in shows and embedded himself into the shows that he knew were going to get him the exposure that he needed. He didn't come in and go, I'm a seller in France. Everybody follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. Or he didn't go in and go, can I promote myself? No, he just said, hello from France. How's it going? He didn't say, how's it going? But you know what I mean. He went in and said, hello, what from France, good afternoon instead of good morning. He would make jokes. It automatic Soulless Creations, it's just automatic. If you use Chit Chats, but Chit Chats doesn't ship to that country, it's just automatically switches over to Canada Post. And it just means that you'll notice it's a Canada Post label and you need to drop it off at a Canada Post location. So this worked really well. Thriftworks is well known in the US because of this. I think there's going to be a lineup for signatures in Austin when Thriftworks is there. So be prepared, Darren, for that. It's going to happen. There's just going to be a lineup around you. So he became part of the network, and that's the embedded entry that we're talking about. So, category alignment. It's really important that it brings security. That's a good idea. You need Ho. You need to bring Ho get her to be your security. I feel like she would be the best. So this only works if you go into your most common category. So if you sell in fashion, go into fashion rooms. If you sell trading cards, go into trading card rooms. If you sell books, go into book shows. Relevance accelerates your embedding. So Thriftworks didn't go into a whole bunch of Pokemon shows. He went into the estate sales shows, the vintage decor shows. He got himself known in those shows. And that I discovered him from the Hodgepodge Place. I was in a Hodgepodge Place show and she kept talking about her Whatnot husband. And so I had to go and see his shows. And then I bought a bunch of ephemera. So you want to be visible where it makes the most sense. So here is the challenge, the Canadian International Challenge, the March edition. This is very simple. And I'm going to post a little like one pager sheet, a little sheet with all of the steps. So on our Discord, if you don't, our Discord information is in the show notes, as well as there's a Discord listing on my auction tab, or you can message me and I'll send you the link. So choose one region outside North America. So you can pick UK, Germany, France, Netherlands, Australia. I don't want you to pick 5. I want you to just concentrate on one country. Okay. Think about the time zone that you live in. Think about their time zones. And when you normally go live, and also when you are available to go into other people's shows. So if Australian's time zone works better for you, then pick Australia. If UK time zone works better for you, pick Australia. Pick the UK. So you're going to pick one country, basically one country to go into. So as Peacock pointed out, if you don't speak German, it's probably not going to be to your advantage to go into a German speaking show. I have gone in and just said hello from Canada and said hello. It got me a couple of follows. Highly doubt that I'm ever going to get any buyers from that, but I was already there watching the shows because I wanted to see how they were doing stuff. So I said hello. I thought that was polite, so I did say hello. So I want you to visit at least two. This is a very bare minimum. Okay, this is the minimum amount. I want you to pick one country. And step 2 is I want you to visit at least 2 shows per week in that country. When you enter, I want you to say hello from Canada or hello from BC, Canada. Don't say hello from Ontario. Say hello from Ontario, Canada. Add the Canada flag. That's instantly recognizable around the world. No matter what the language, they love us and they love our flag. Most of them love us. Remember, you're then going to be positive, encouraging, complimentary, and engaged. No spamming, no link dropping, no dominating the chat, no passive aggressive selling. Don't say, I sell that too, or I've got 6 of those in my next show. None of that. Okay. You are just there to engage with the chat. I want you to be stereotypically Canadian, sweet as maple syrup, and polite as bonhomme. Okay. And if you don't know bonhomme, look it up. if you if you go into that show once, if you love the vibe, go back to that seller. Repeat it. If you find a seller that their vibe matches your vibe and their tribe matches your tribe, I want you to go back to that seller and hang out this in March. Don't just go once and say hello and chat for a bit and then never go back again. If you love that vibe, go back to that vibe. Bookmark their shows and go back to their shows later on in the month. So if you like their energy, if you like their tribe, I want you to return. Embedded entry works best through repetition. Okay. Step 4, I want you to at least once this month, raid a seller outside of North America. So pick that country that is your country. I want you to raid at least just once, and we're going to find someone to raid into that's international when I finish this show. I want you to at least once in the month raid into a seller outside of North America, because then you're modeling a global whatnot community. And that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to create a global whatnot community of similar people, similar vibes, building a bigger global tribe. Introduce your audience to their streams. Troublina says, I actually just went to a French show just to see when you talked about it. There you go. I love that. Okay, so I'm not going to ask for spreadsheets. I'm not going to be doing leaderboards. I don't care how many times you do it. I don't want you to be only rating into non-Canadian shows, right? I want you to pick the country that works for you and raid once or more, but it doesn't have to be all the time. I want you just to come into one of my shows and tell me how it went. Did you try it? Did you get any follows? Did you enjoy the vibe? Did you meet good people? All I care about is you telling me about your connections. Did you make some connections? Come and tell me about it in my show. Say, Kim, yesterday I raided into a show in France. It was so much fun. They were amazing. They were really supportive and they had awesome stuff. And Thriftworks USA says, be diverse with your raids and calculated. Yeah. So you don't want to raid into the same person over and over again. And make sure that you're looking for shows that this time you're not going to be raiding into shows that have 4 people. Like I raid into small rooms. Normally when I finish a show, I raid into small rooms. You're going to be more strategic. You're going to be looking for slightly larger rooms to raid into to start with. However, You will definitely be noticed. If you raid into a room of less than 20 people, you're definitely going to be noticed when you raid. If you raid into a room that's got like 150 or 250 people, your raid is just a drop in the bucket, right? It will be thanked, hopefully. But so I would say being extra calculated is raiding into busy rooms, but not overly busy rooms. Would be my, but again, you do you, boo. You do what you feel most comfortable with. So I'm going to remind you of the rules. This is really important. We are guests. We are guests. We are not going to be obnoxious. We are going to be, again, quintessentially Canadian. Sweet as maple syrup, polite as bonhomme. Do not spam. Do not dominate the chat. Do not drop your shows. Don't say, I have a show coming up tomorrow at X, unless you are asked by the host. Like, hey, welcome in. Hey, Canada, nice to see you. Are you a seller on here? Are you and then you say, yes, I sell on here. And then if they don't say, yes, I sell on here, and tomorrow I have a show at X, just say, yes, I sell too. Then let them engage with you. Let them tell you how much more information to provide. Just answer their questions. Don't go overboard. Don't start spamming. Respect the hosts, and keep cognizant of your time zones, but respect the hosts. Respect the fact that they're trying to sell to their community, and that's what it should be about. And represent Canada well. Be classy. Be sweet and classy. So we aren't trying to take over. We're just trying to branch into new markets. That is then going to in turn help them. So it's not like we're just doing this all for us. When we go and bring our buyers, and when we raid and we bring our buyers into, say, a UK show, if I think I'm probably going to pick the UK because my timing. You're going to raid into their shows. They're gonna also get introduced to a whole bunch of Canadian buyers. So it's beneficial for them as well. And I think the more we can do of cross-border international trade, this embeddedness, I think it's going to help us all grow Whatnot Canada and Whatnot internationally. So I want you to think about just building a international Whatnot community, but we're going to do it slow and steady. Not a big, all of a sudden the Canadians have started, you know, flag bombing every show they go into. And that's not what I want. I want it slow and steady. We're going to start with March. Plain, simple challenge. Okay. So here again, we're not trying to take over. We're just embedding. Markets are built on relationships. We are building relationships and the international Whatnot community. If you're not embedded, if you don't introduce yourself into the UK market or the French market, you're invisible. Pick your region. Make sure you're looking at time zones. Pick your region. Make sure you stick to your category. And for Quebecois, for folks in Quebec who are bilingual, you have an advantage that I don't have. You can go into French language shows. Good morning, Deals on Style. Go into French language shows and promote yourself. Talk about, say, bonjour or whatever, bonsoir, whatever time it is there. Make sure you look at the time. Or you can say good morning if it's morning for you in Canada. You can say good morning from Canada, bonjour from de Canada. You want to you have an advantage, and you have an extra little bit that you can do. So if you want to, you can pick friends. And if you find folks in France that follow your vibe, now I know there's a slight difference in the language, that Quebec French is different from like Parisian French, for example. I remember that from back in my day of school, because I was taught by a Parisian. She was born in Paris, so we learned Parisian French until I went to a new school, a grade 7, and then suddenly I didn't know how to speak French anymore. So I know there are some differences, but at the same time, they'll be able to understand you when they come into your shows. So I think you have a great advantage. And so if you are bilingual and you want to go and embed yourself into France, try France. So you're going to pick your region, you're going to show up, you're going to be kind, and we're going to build together. So that's it. That's the Canadian International Trade Challenge. I will post a little thing, like a little outline of the steps that I need you to take, and the rules. The rules are basically don't be a jerk, and then and then go do it. Do it all through March, and let's talk about it in April and talk about what to do next. How did it go? You know, who did better? If you want to write down like how many follows you got after you did a raid, or all that, you can do your own metrics if you want, but we're not going to be tracking that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do leaderboards, because everybody has different abilities here, right? Some of us only go live once a week, some of us go live multiple times a week, some of us are on every single day, so it's different for us. And please spread the word to other Canadian sellers that you're talking with offline. Please spread the word about this challenge, and see if we can't get more sellers on board to do this and try this out in March, and then make it something that we continually think about. Okay, that's it. That's it for me. That was it. Not a lot of buyer psychology there or anything. It was pretty simple and straightforward. Does anyone have any questions in general about Whatnot, or about the challenge, or anything else? I'm going to switch to pinning my resources wherever they are. Did I even bring them in? I thought I did. I didn't. I thought I did. Oh, there they are. There they are. Did anything change tariff wise? Not really, War Martin, because the de minimis exemption is still eliminated. So therefore, that doesn't change the necessity for shipping via UPS right now. So it doesn't matter. He could eliminate every single tariff, but the de minimis exemption is the major problem. That is the big block. If the de minimis exemption was to be returned, that would be a different thing. Style with Charlie says, there are a lot of great sellers in the UK who are lovely with small shows. And yes, and they would absolutely love, I'm going to moderate you. They would absolutely love to have a follow. So Style with Charlie is from the UK. I actually got to have tea with her, and we went and did thrifting together, which is so much fun. In Chipping Sodbury, the funnest place to say. Sarsaparilla asks, what magic happens when you hit 1,000 sales? Early payouts, anything else fancy pantsy? No, that's it. Early payouts. There she is. So yeah, so start looking for shows. Is YouTube the best place to learn how to navigate Whatnot as a new seller? Depends on who you're watching, Leanne. There are lots of YouTube videos. I have a whole YouTube channel that you can go to. There are and there's a lot of information in there, because I do every Saturday I do a show. Dave says only 986 to go. You're gonna get there. I know Sasperilla's at 930 now. She's so close to getting to 1,000 sales. So YouTube does have a lot of, there's really great sellers. I highly recommend checking out the wonderful D_archivist. She has a really great YouTube channel with lots of really good information. Also, another go-to seller that I go, Archivist. Oops, no. Archivist, there she is. And at the Hodgepodge place. I can't spell it right. Hodgepodge place. There we go. D_archivist and the Hodgepodge place. Both of them, that same name is their usernames on Whatnot are also their usernames on YouTube, and they have really great YouTube shows. Lydia asks, how do you do YouTube here and at the same time? So I use a feature that's part of iPhone feature for Whatnot, which is called multicast. So right now I'm casting onto YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch all at the same time. Congratulations, War Martin. That's exciting. ALR asks, how will the high shipping prices work for European buyers? So yeah, so I mean, there is going to be a higher expense for European buyers, and that's why I said, I mean, I noticed that when I was looking to so I have a UK address as one of my saved addresses on Whatnot because I bought stuff and had it shipped to my in-laws' house from UK sellers. And when I go into a UK show, I can't, let me see. Let's go do that now. Minimize show. Let's go into, what should we do? Let's do vintage clothing. Shipped from United Kingdom. There are 288 shows on right now from the United Kingdom. We're gonna go for and Charlie, if you're here and you have a suggestion of who to raid, I will take it for sure. Let's go look at denim. Okay, let me just change my wallet to there it is. All right, I'm gonna change it to Bristol. Now, the shipping, no wait, the other way around, Kim. You want to ship it. Oh, never mind. I'm not doing it right. I need to be in a Canadian show. Right. I need to be in a Canadian show with my UK. I'm special today. Sorry, everybody. Shipped from Canada. All right. Now we can go into somebody. There's nobody on right now. There's nobody on, holy cow, in Canada in vintage clothing. Shipped from Canada, go. PB&J is on right now. All right, let's see. My wallet says what? Yep. Okay. So shipping from PB&J, who's on right now, to the UK, to Bristol is $14.80. Oh, hey, Christine. Hi, the Hodgepodge Place. Sorry, I was saying how your YouTube, people were asking which YouTube to look for, and yours, yeah, it's not bad at all. So that's like 4 to 7 ounces. That's 4 to 7 ounces. Thank you. Are you coming to Austin? Are you coming to your husband is here. I was talking about your husband, and I was also talking about how your husband embedded himself in your show and became your husband. So, and so that's how I got to know him. And that's how he grew his US market, was in going into shows like yours and just being himself. Ripidan says that's like shipping from BC to my house with Canada Post. Exactly. Yeah. 1 to 3 ounces is saying $14.24. That's what it's telling me. And it's showing weekly bundling. Oh, wait. How is it showing is weekly bundling available? Weekly bundling's turned on. So I can also weekly bundle too. So, hi, Beck. We're talking about embedding into international markets. So let me just mention you, and I'm going to allow to moderate and mention in chat. Beck is from the wonderful Australia. We were talking today about how important it is for us to be marketing into other places. Can you print on? Yes, you can print on regular paper and attach with tape. You do not need to buy an expensive. We're answering questions right now. You can just use your regular printer. If you don't own a printer, you can go to the library and print it off there if you want to. Elvery Vintage says, when I create a quality listing for my show, when I run it, it always defaults to 30 seconds. Is there a way to change? Elvery, I know it's a glitch that's happened lately, because it used to be that it would remember your last thing and switch it back up again. Yeah. So everyone, please follow the Hodgepodge Place. I'm going to mention her in chat again. Everyone follow the Hodgepodge Place. She does seller chat shows usually on Thursdays. They are like top rate seller chat shows. She's going to give you like the best information, and she has really great YouTube videos available on a lot of topics related to selling on Whatnot. So if you're not following, you need to. Plus, she has really fun shows. So if shipping, so she just switched to a heavier jewelry item, and it went up to $23.58. So it just went up to $23.58. Oh, I'm in Rebecca's now. I switched to Rebecca's, I guess. I must have by accident. Yeah, but in PB&J's it's 14.24 for lightweight stuff. So it really isn't that expensive. It's not as expensive as you think. Um yes, Beck says I would love to do a collab on the International Bridging the Gap, maybe a co-host show. That would be awesome. Yes, let's talk offline. I know Vinticote is thinking about is it got it in the back of her heads to do a Commonwealth train collaboration where we do a raid train that's all the Commonwealth. Um, so that would be UK, Canada, and Australia. Um, so cute little what about their exchange rate? So their exchange rate is pretty good because like $14.24 is like what, like £8 or something like that. And I'm telling you right now, if you go into if you were in England trying to buy anything, it's pretty much it. A lot of things feel on par. Like I when I was there in England, I had to stop trying to do the calculations in my head because it was bothering me so much how much things were costing. But because it is more expensive there for a lot of things. I don't know if that's because of Brexit or what. I don't remember what the last time I was there before last July was 10 years before. So it didn't feel as expensive then, but I would highly I would say that it's more expensive, like it's more like it's on par. Like if you go to a coffee shop and get a coffee, it is going to cost you the same amount in pounds that it does in dollars here, as an example. Beck says we have some Canadians buying from Australian sellers using weekly bundling, and they're finding it to work out very reasonable. Yes, and that's the awesome thing is that UK and Australia both now have weekly bundling. Like PB&J has weekly bundling available for UK buyers because it's showing me weekly bundling is available for me as a with my UK address. So that gives us another advantage too, that we're able to also offer to Australian and UK buyers weekly bundling, and they can offer it to us as well. So so pick the country that you're most interested in, um, and then do the challenge. Let me just check to make sure that I haven't missed any questions. Um, yes, Hodge did bro you. I love it. I love it. Elvery Vintage says, when I create a quality listing for my oh sorry, I already did that one. Yeah, it's some stupid, I hate that. Beck says, I'm keen to help bridge the international market gap and I'll be starting shows soon. I'm across the whole Aussie seller space. You're like the queen. You're the queen. So make sure everybody is following Beck. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And I'll get up back. I'll put you in touch with let me just yes, please follow back so that you can because she's going to start selling, but also just get to know her because she's another amazing supporter of Whatnot, the international Whatnot community. Thriftwork says, I started the bundle thing a year or so ago on my own. It's a great tool. Yeah. So eventually I hope that France I assume that eventually almost every country is going to get weekly bundling, Darren, and then you won't have to do that. You won't have to worry about that. It'll just be automatic. I think it's a great tool. I will say that I will warn Canadian sellers, and if you know someone who's a Canadian seller who's still doing this, warn them that because now weekly bundling is available for Whatnot sellers in Canada, using Whatnot's systems to get around shipping to do weekly bundlings on your own in Canada is a no-no and is against terms of service. And if enough people report you, you could get your account shut down. So please, if you know somebody who's a Canadian seller who is currently doing that, where they're doing their own weekly bundles outside of Whatnot systems, then please warn them, because the next time they do that, it's not available yet here. I know Style with Charlie that they were testing it with a few UK sellers. So if you do know the UK rep and Whatnot, ask if you can, if they're still testing it. Yeah, and Beck says Australia was the pilot for weekly bundling, and it's worked so well for us. All positive feedback from sellers. I mean, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. What it means is that anything you sell between Monday and Sunday all goes in one box if your buyer wants to. If your buyer opts out of weekly bundling, then you need to ship it just like you normally do. But 99% of my items are now shipping weekly because they're saving a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So I think they were testing it with a few UK sellers, so I don't know if they're still testing it. Yes, you can create bundles and run them, but you can't tell people to use select local pickup for my shows, and then I'll ship to you using my free adjustments at the end of the week, right? Um, yeah, you can't defer shipping. It just basically means you have to you it's very cool. You can opt out in your wallet as a buyer. Yes, you opt out in your wallet as a buyer. How can you tell if a buyer opts out? I don't want to send a package late. So it's really easy. So when you go in, sarsaparilla, at the end of your show, when you go in to look at your on your seller hub, it'll say needs label right at the very top. Let me show you on my. I'm going to leave PB and J show. I'm not going to click into it because I don't want you to see everything. But as you can see, there's the needs label. And if I click on that, it will actually say um, what day. The first, it'll say their name, and then underneath their name, it'll have a date. So March 1st is the date for this weekly bundling ending. So I just scroll to see if there's any that don't say March 1st. So I just scroll down, and if I don't see March 1st, then I know, okay, all of these are weekly bundles, and all 21 of these are weekly bundles right now. So I got a lot of shipping. I got someone coming in to help me with shipping on this Monday, so that I can hopefully do some selling on Monday, or go do something with the husband, spend some time with him. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, it's definitely better for the planet too. Yeah, it's definitely Style with Charlie. You're right. It is definitely better for the planet. Okay, last call for questions, and then we are going to find someone in the UK to raid. So last call for questions, Loki, and I'm going to look for someone in vintage decor. Shipped from United Kingdom. And if you want to share your shows, feel free to. Very happy to let you share your shows. Oh, there's one person on right now. Oh, and I have a friend who's watching. So I think we'll go over there. Marie. Beck says, remember also that weekly bundling ends at 12 a.m. Sunday in the seller's location. So good idea for sellers to put that in their notes or have a timer. Yeah. So if you're doing a show and you're going to go over that time, if you're doing a midnight insomniac show and you're going to go over midnight into early Monday morning, then what you want to do is have a note that says that anything sold before midnight is going to go into this week, and anything that after midnight is going to go into next week's bundle. And the really cool thing about how does it work for custom made items? Can they be run as an auction? Totally up to you, Lydia. You can make them an auction or a buy it now. There are a lot of handmade sellers. If you're a handmade person, I recommend that you go and check out the shows, the chat shows of Custom Wood Burning, who can answer a lot of your questions related to shipping times. If you're creating something that's going to be that's going to take some lead time to create, like say it's a custom tumbler or something, then she knows how to contact Whatnot to do it, to make sure that it doesn't affect your ship times, like to get dinged. Oh, let's see who's got shows. AHJC has first show is Monday at 5:30 Pacific time. Everyone, please follow AHJC and bookmark that show. Soulless Creations has a stud earring show in 45 minutes. Awesome. Shop with Danny tomorrow at 3:10 p.m. Pacific, 6:10 Eastern. Men's and women's hoodies, joggers, t-shirts, runners, extra small to 4XL. And Lydia says, please follow me. I might start selling this week. How awesome is that? Sorella Fine says, Sunday at 8 p.m. swimwear plus plus size. Ooh, today. Sorry, Shoppa Danny. Show today at 3:10 p.m. Ooh, Sarsaparilla has a showgirl show on Sunday. You don't want to miss that. Sarsaparilla was our wonderful guest yesterday. We had so much fun talking about selling on Whatnot. Dave from Alberta says, hi, Sandra. Dave from Alberta says, next show in a few weeks. Check listings and message if interested in anything sooner. I love it. Okay. Are you guys ready? You guys ready? Whoop. I feel like I froze. I probably didn't, but all right. We are going to go into a UK show. We're going to go into Marie. I've never been to her before. I hope she's still on. Yes, but it's not showing as there she is. Select. We're going to go into Great Britain. We're going to go into the UK. So, yeah, lovely to see you too, Charlie. Love you. So everyone, think about the challenge. Try it, and let's see how we do in March. Let's see yes, definitely, Beck, thank you so much. All right, let's go put a bunch of Canada flag emojis and be polite and say hello from Canada. Tell them, if you're from another country, tell them your country. Let's just go in and say hello and be awesome. Okay, I love you guys. Have an awesome day. I will see you on, I might do a show. I might do a pop-up, but otherwise I'll see you on Tuesday.